I gave her 3 years of my life. The phone buzzed at midnight. Not once, not twice, relentless. Her name lit up my screen, but it wasn't the calls that froze me. It was the silence when I answered. Breathing, nothing else. Then a faint whisper, my name, almost broken, as though she wasn't sure if she wanted me to hear it. And then laughter in the background, male, familiar. The call cut off. I sat in the dark, staring at the black screen, listening to the echo of my own pulse hammering through my skull. 3 years, that's how long I had given her. Every morning that began with her voice, every night that ended with her head against my chest, believing, no, knowing, that she belonged to me, that I belonged to her. My best friend had been the anchor in my storms, the one who steadied me when I faltered. I had trusted him with my fears, my insecurities, my dreams. He knew her as I knew her. At least I thought so. But that laugh I knew. Her laugh wasn't something you could mistake. It was sharp, electric, the kind that reached her eyes before it ever touched her lips. And hearing it echo against the timbre of his voice was enough to split the ground beneath me. I sat there, phone still warm in my hand, as the truth I didn't want to name began to press itself into my chest like a knife point. Something was wrong, and I already knew, though I wished I didn't, where this night would end. The next day, she smiled at me like nothing had happened. She poured coffee, asked about my day, kissed me lightly on the cheek as though she wasn't already carrying the scent of someone else. I watched her closely. The way her eyes darted when I held her gaze. The way she fiddled with her fingers when silence lingered too long. She was there, but she wasn't. That night I lay awake beside her, listening to her steady breathing. My eyes traced the shadows on the ceiling, each one stretching into questions I wasn't ready to answer. Was it just suspicion? Paranoia? My mind clawing at phantoms because of a broken call in the dark? But no, instinct doesn't lie. It whispers before the truth screams. And the more I searched my memory, the more fragments surfaced. The messages she sometimes left unanswered. The late nights explained away with vague excuses. The way she laughed too hard at his jokes. My best friend. My brother in all but blood. I wanted to deny it. I wanted to drown the thought in logic, in trust, in the fragile comfort of what we had built. But there is a particular chill that comes when the people you love most turn strange before your eyes. A coldness that seeps through the cracks of everyday life until everything feels staged, hollow, false. Every word she spoke became a test, every smile a mask. And with each passing day, I felt the truth rising like smoke behind a closed door. Impossible to ignore, impossible to breathe. I didn't confront her, not yet. Confrontation is loud, messy, emotional. It leaves traces. No, I chose silence. Silence is sharper. It listens, it waits, it exposes without warning. I started small, checking her phone when she slept, though she had grown careful, erasing every trace before it reached my eyes. A rookie mistake on her part. People erase only what they don't want found, not what matters most. I noticed patterns. Numbers she dialed late at night. Calls labeled work that ended before midnight. Gaps in her location history, as if she had learned how to vanish from me in plain sight. I followed threads like a spider, spinning a web around her lies. Each step revealed not answers, but confirmations. Subtle, undeniable. The most damning? Him. My friend. His number logged quietly in her recent calls. His name buried inside her messages under a false label. I wanted to tear the phone in half, but instead I placed it gently back on the table where she'd left it, as if nothing was wrong. I studied him too, my friend. I noticed how he avoided my eyes in conversation now, how his smile faltered when she entered the room, how silence swelled between them when I walked in, too careful, too fragile, as though both were holding their breath. The pieces aligned. But still, I wanted proof. So I dug deeper. Phone records, tracking apps, every detail cataloged, every suspicion measured. And then I waited. Patience, after all, is the cruelest weapon. It allows the guilty to believe they are safe, right until the floor collapses beneath them. The evidence came in an envelope. Cold, clinical, merciless. Photos, dates, times. Her slipping into his car. Their hands brushing in places they thought no one watched. Laughter caught mid-frame, eyes glowing with the kind of intimacy once reserved for me. The same sparkle I had fallen for. The same light I thought belonged only to me. I sat at the table with the photos spread before me, drinking them in like poison. Not one or two, dozens. Each one a nail in the coffin of the life I thought I had. She came home hours later, smiling, humming a song I didn't recognize. She kissed me absent-mindedly, set her bag down, moved around the kitchen with practiced ease. I let her speak first. I let her fill the silence with empty words about her day, laughter about meaningless things. Then I slid one photo across the table. Her hand froze mid-air. The color drained from her face. She opened her mouth, but nothing came. Another photo, and another. I laid them out like cards in a game she had already lost. Her eyes filled, tears trembling, spilling before she could control them. She whispered my name, reaching for me, but I leaned back, calm, untouched. "I know," I said simply. That was all, and it was enough. I didn't yell, I didn't rage, I didn't demand answers. Answers were worthless now. Instead, I handed her the envelope, the full collection, evidence too heavy to deny. "Take it," I told her. My voice was steady, detached. "You'll need it when you explain yourself to him." Her tears fell harder. She tried to close the space between us, but I stepped away. "You chose him," I continued. "Every laugh, every touch, every lie. You made your decision, and now you get to live with it." I watched the panic bloom in her eyes. The realization that the man she betrayed me with was not standing beside her now. That in this moment she was utterly alone. I didn't need to scream. My silence was the noose tightening around her throat. I took my keys, my jacket, and walked to the door. She followed, pleading, begging, her words stumbling, incoherent. But I didn't look back, not once. Because revenge isn't fire, it's ice. It isn't the explosion of rage, but the quiet withdrawal of love. The moment when you take everything they once had, everything they once were, and leave them to choke on the absence. And as the door closed behind me, her sobs were cut off like the static of a broken signal. The night was cold, but I felt nothing. I drove with the windows down, letting the air wash over me, cleansing, brutal. The world outside kept moving, cars, lights, people, oblivious to the fact that mine had just ended and restarted all at once. I thought of him, my friend, my brother. I wondered if she had called him yet, if he had answered, if he felt the weight of what was coming. It didn't matter. They deserved each other. Betrayal is the sharpest blade, but once it cuts, the wound becomes something else. Clarity, freedom. I wasn't broken. I wasn't destroyed. I was emptied, stripped down to something harder, colder. And in that emptiness, I found a strange truth. She hadn't taken 3 years of my life. I had given them, willingly, blindly. But tonight, I took something back. My silence, my control, my freedom. I would not forgive. I would not forget. I would simply walk away. And when people asked later why I left, I would tell them the truth in a single sentence. The most painful betrayal is the one that comes from those you trust the most.